Unit 1, Lesson 3. How does the United States system of government balance of majority rules and minority rings? What are Americans' examples of coming together to balance minority rules and minority rings? The United States government has three branches, the judicial, executive, and the Supreme Court among the three branches. There are checks to ensure that neither branch is overly dominated compared to the others. For example, the Supreme Court defends the President and Cabinet of Justice, but it doesn't matter that the President can or that it is his Cabinet. They cannot pass laws of the judicial and executive powers do not agree as well. That is where the highest court can be controlled by the lower court and herself. Governments cannot vary from country to country, depending to how the head or the leader of the country believes is best for his people. For example, in the United States shows how will represent its voice so that we can be heard in the highest places. And there is the pressure, for example. No one else is communist. Everyone is exactly the same. Everyone will remain the same, and people do not have much to say about how is the government and how it's doing to represent. That is why I believe that democracy is better than communism, because that way people have more freedom to choose what they want and how they want that things are done by majority. Unit 2, Lesson 2. What are amendments? What amendments do you think are the most important to our Constitution? An amendment has a correct that is made to something. This something must by definition fulfill a task. However, if this function for which it was designed is not performed in a favor way, it must be subject to a reform of these components to be able to fulfill to fully. To date, 27 amendments have been made to the United States Constitution. The first 10 amendments were ratified simultaneously and are known as the Bill of Rights, freedom of worship, expression, press, petition, and assembly. In my opinion, I think the most important amendments are 1, 13, and 14. The first is important because before everyone had to follow the same regimen. As always, thanks to these amendments, they're given freedom of expression and to show what they want. The 13th Amendment prohibits slavery that was very common in its day, and the 14th Amendment is important because it protects us as citizens and we can argue for our rights. Question 3, Unit 3. How does money matter in politics? Money matters in politics because the more money you invest in your political party, the more opportunities you have for people to follow you, and you can collect more votes, and important people will take you into account. For example, you are trying to make sure a law doesn't get passed because you don't like it or it doesn't suit you. The best way to do it is by manipulating things, because that way you can postpone the law without actually doing it if you don't have the power to veto it. So yes, gerrymandering is important because people can make laws take longer to that if they didn't.